When we talk about changing active voice into passive voice in the simple past tense, we're diving into a fascinating aspect of English grammar. Let's break it down step by step. First, let's clarify what we mean by active and passive voice. In the active voice, the subject performs the action. For example, the chef cooked the meal. Here, the chef is the doer. In contrast, in the passive voice, the focus shifts to the action being done to the subject. So, that same sentence in passive voice would be, the meal was cooked by the chef. Notice how the object of the active sentence, the meal, becomes the subject in the passive sentence. Now, how do we transform an active voice sentence into passive voice in the simple past tense? The formula is quite straightforward. We take the object of the active sentence, make it the subject of the passive sentence, and then use the past participle form of the main verb. Importantly, we also need a form of the verb to be that matches the tense. In the simple past, that form is was or were. Let's look at a couple of examples. If we start with the teacher taught the students, we identify the students as the object. In passive voice, it becomes the students were taught by the teacher. Here, were is used because students is plural. If we had a singular subject like the student, we would say the student was taught by the teacher. Now, let's talk about the helping verb. In the simple past tense, we use was for singular subjects and were for plural subjects. This is crucial because it maintains the correct agreement between the subject and the verb. Next, let's discuss the structure of WH questions in the passive voice. When forming questions, we typically start with the WH word, followed by the appropriate form of to be, then the past participle, and finally the subject. For instance, if we want to ask, who taught the students in passive voice, it becomes, by whom were the students taught? Notice how we switch who to whom because it's the object of the preposition by. Another example, if we start with what did the chef cook? In passive voice, it changes to what was cooked by the chef. Here, what remains the same because it's still the object of the action. In summary, when converting from active to passive voice in the simple past tense, remember to switch the object to the subject position, use the past participle of the verb, and apply the correct form of to be. For questions, start with the WH word, follow with the appropriate helping verb, and then the past participle. Understanding these rules not only enhances your grammar skills, but also helps you communicate more effectively in English. So, whether you're writing an essay or engaging in conversation, mastering the passive voice can add depth and clarity to your expression.